What's up, guys? ResRacer here, or you can call me Res for short, and this is going to be the first in our series of Inertial Drift tutorial videos. Inertial Drift is a racing game, an arcade racing game with a really cool and really unique control scheme. It's a twin stick racer. You use the left thumbstick to steer, you use the right thumbstick to drift. It's unique, I've never seen this before, and it works really well, but there is a learning curve. And my goal with these tutorials is to flatten that learning curve for you as much as possible so you can go and attack those leaderboards as soon as the game comes out, which, by the way, is going to be in 2 weeks from now. Right now, or less than 2 weeks. Right now, I've got August 29th. That's the date where I am. And the game comes out on September 11th. So you got about 2 weeks to practice and get ready to attack this pretty awesome arcade game. Now this is Sunset Prologue. It's the free demo that's available on Steam, and I highly recommend you check it out. And let's get into this, but first let me go into settings. I just want to show you something real quick, the gameplay. So I want to come here to invert drift stick. Now invert drift stick is actually off by default, and when it's off, what it means is when you turn, you press both thumbsticks in the direction of the turn. So if you turn left, both thumbsticks go left. You turn right, both thumbsticks go right. And I think a lot of people probably prefer that kind of setting, but it feels a little weird to me. I actually prefer it inverted, and when it's inverted, you press the thumbsticks in opposite directions in order to turn. So if you turn left, left thumbsticks go left, or right thumbstick actually goes right. It sounds weird, but to me it works and it just feels natural. Now the game is, you can drive just as fast with either style, and the cars can handle the same with either style. This is just a personal preference as to which direction you want to push the stick in. I just want to show you where that is. So let's go into events. Now, there are 2 tracks available in this demo. There's a Lakeside Loop, which is kind of the beginner level track, and then there's the Sunset Sea Circuit, which is much more advanced. And you can tell just by the map, the Sunset Sea Circuit is much trickier corners, it's longer, it's definitely more technical. So we're going to stick with the Lakeside Loop for this one. And short loading screen, and then we're going to pick our car. Now, there are 2 cars in this demo, and the cars in this game are based on production cars. So they're fictitious, but they're based on real cars. So here we have the Coda Gecko, and the Coda Gecko is basically Toyota Supra. And then you have here the HPE Dragon, which to my eyes looks like a Nissan GTR. Now it doesn't drive like a GTR, but it looks like a GTR. Now, of these 2, the Dragon is much faster. It's about 4 to 5 seconds a lap faster than the Gecko, but it's also much trickier to drive. And I'm going to do a tutorial just for it later on. Now, these won't be the only 2 cars in the game. You'll notice there's an A-Class that's not available in the demo. There's going to be 3 main cars at least, and there's going to be other side cars. So there's going to be a pretty good variety of cars. For right now, we just got these 2. So we're going to pick the Class C car. We're going to go to the Lakeside Loop, and we're going to go over how to play this game. Now we're going to get a rolling start, and when we cross the start finish line, we should get a rival ghost. There he is, but we're going to let him go, and I'm going to brake to a stop right here, and I'm going to show you basically like how this game plays. But first, actually, I want to point your attention to the lower right hand corner of the car. See where it says Night Flyers? That is definitely a reference to Initial D and the Night Kids, which I think is really cool. So anyways, I'm going to hit the throttle here, and I'm going to steer using the left thumbstick. Now, right now I'm pressing right, all the way right on the right thumbstick, and you can see the car's barely moving. All the way left, all the way right, nothing. The car barely moves when you do this, because the developers want you to use the right thumbstick to drift and steer. That's the only way to really make any kind of headway in this game. So let's come up here, this nice little sunset vista, and I'm going to show you just how much control you have over the game with the right stick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the right stick all the way to the right, and it's going to kick the tail out to the right. And I'm just going to add a little bit of throttle, and a little bit more, and we're doing donuts. This is how you do donuts in this game. It's all with the throttle and the right thumbstick. You cannot do this with the left thumbstick. All the major steering action comes from the right. Now, can you steer with just the right? You can, but it feels weird. It's what I'm trying to do right here, and it can't really make it work. The game really comes into its own when you use both sticks in order to steer, as you can see right here. Now, there are basically 3 ways to control your attitude through a corner. What I'm doing right here is I'll let go of the throttle. I just want to show you something here actually really quick. You can get really dramatic angles right here by letting go of the throttle. That's what throws the car into a big sideways drift like that. It looks really cool, but it's slow, so you want to save these big drifts like I'm about to do now. You want to save that for really tight turns. I'm just kind of just showing off there a little bit. But anyways, you're going to control the car with a combination of steering, the drift stick, and the throttle, and that's what's going to allow you to really get the fast lap times. And what's really cool, and I'm going to show you right here, is you can use the drift stick to hold the angle of the car, and then you use the right stick, the steering, to kind of like move it left and right on the road while it's still pointing in the same direction. And you can use that to really cut tight lines next to the barriers, like here. I'm going to see how close I can get to. Now it's too wide, I'll do it in the next one. What you want to do with each turn here is get as close to the barrier like that, not hit it like I did right there, but get as close to the barrier as you can without actually hitting it. Yeah, like that, that's a little bit better. And you can do that by locking the drift in place by basically locking the drift angle in place with the right stick, and then using the left stick to guide it right up against the barrier and kind of kiss the barrier without hitting it. And that's where fast laps are going to come. Not that obviously, but that wasn't really an attempt at a fast lap. Now I'm going to come to a stop and I'm going to show you something. Well, first I want to show you something with the brakes. So there are definitely brakes in this game, but you don't need them in this track. You'll need them in other tracks, I'm sure, but you don't need it in this one. But what you can do with the brakes is like that. You can use it to get even more dramatic angles. So what I'm doing here is I'm drifting, and then if you hit the brake just like that, what I just did, it kind of throws the car even more sideways. So you can do that to that extra angle, but you don't need to do that in this track. Now, I'm going to come to a stop because I want to show you where the reference points on this track are. And when I say reference points, I mean the parts of the track that kind of you can use as cues to let you know when to initiate a drift. Because if you could do that, if you use reference points, you're going to be very consistent and you're going to go fast. Reference points are something that you usually only hear about in simulation racing games, but they're very useful here. So your first one is going to be the sign on the right here. Let me show you exactly what it looks like. Oh, this sign right here. Once you see that, initiate your drift, your first one, and then you're going to go on, and you're going to see these pine trees on the right. That first one, you're going to initiate your second drift there, and then you're going to try to get as close to the inside of the barrier here as you can. Now, your third reference point is going to be this big tree on the side right here. When you come up to it, you just drift into this turn. This next section, you're just going to try and thread the needle and steer as little as possible to get through. It's actually easier doing the dragon. Oh, I got to turn around here because I want to show you something really cool. And really good reference points in this on this track are these signs that say slow, which is actually to me pretty funny. When you drive over the slow sign, that's when you hit your drift and go even faster. And they're actually great reference points for this particular turn. Now, it's ironic that the sign that says slow is going to help you go even faster, but it's what it is, and I kind of think that developers did it on purpose. I want to show you the reference point for this turn right here. The reference point for this turn right here is this sign. Once you pass the sign, hit your drift. Like, you get out of the throttle and hit your drift. Now, this right here is the trickiest corner on this course. You tend to almost always hit the wall here, or if you don't, you wind up hitting the brakes so much that that you lose time. So I still haven't figured out the perfect way through that, but you'll see when we do our fast lap what I mean. So there's another slow sign here. Use that as your reference point to come through this turn. And you're going to come across this bridge, and then your final reference point, you're going to see that tall lamppost on the right. As soon as you come by it, come through here. Now remember, you can control your drift angle just like this. And you can lock your angle into place. You can lock your angle into place with the throttle, with the right thumbstick, and then you can use the left stick to really get close to the inside of the barrier. And I want to demonstrate that for you right now. So let's do a fast lap, and then let's talk through it as we're doing the fast lap. So here we go. We're going to go through the tunnel. There's arrival. Pass through here. First sign coming up. There it is, and we hit our first drift. I kind of had to let go of it there, and as there's a tree, I want to get as close as I can. I could have done that better. And then there's a second tree. It comes, and here we are, as close as we can. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. Now we're going to thread this needle, and then it's going to be a slow sign coming out, right? So we're going to hit it, and that was way too wide. Alright, we're going to come on the inside here, let go of the throttle, big angle, tap the wall, can't be helped, hit the slow, kind of wide right there, over the bridge, and you're going to have the lamppost on the right, which you're going to hit right now, and here we go. Not too bad. This isn't going to be a fast lap. This is going to be like a 53, so let's see if we can do slightly better. Alright, so there's the first one, drift through, and then you're going to have the tree on the side. That was better. Now we're keeping up with our ghost a little bit better as a result too. You see, the more you stay to the inside, the faster you're going to go. Here we go. Kind of screwed that up, but we're still keeping close. I'm going to hit the slow. And bam! Oh, I hit the barrier. That's terrible. And that was actually pretty good. And that's probably the best way you can get through that turn. Nothing too dramatic. Don't tap the wall. Maintain your speed. And now we're going to have one more reference point left, which is that left on the side. Here we go. Cutting inside. I could have done that a little bit closer. I kind of left the foot there, but still that wasn't too bad. And a 52.90, pretty respectable time. They'll get you into the top 500. So that is our first inertial drift tutorial. If you like what you saw, please hit like and subscribe so you can see more of my videos and see more of these inertial drift tutorials. You can follow me on Twitter at RezaRacer, and you can also challenge me on the leaderboards in this game. And either the Switch or Steam or PlayStation 4. Yes, I am getting the game for all 4 systems. And my name on all 3 leaderboards is Resonator9. That's Resonator9. And come challenge me, come beat my times, and come prove that you're the best drifter in inertial drift. And that's all I got for now. I hope this was helpful. And I will see you guys next time. Rez out.